My mother would have known that she had been deceived. She was failed not just by a rogue reporter, but by leaders at the BBC who looked the other way rather than asking the tough questions.
What if I told you that 13 words, just 13 carefully chosen words, could shake a royal family to its very core forever?
Those certain members have decided to get into bed with the devil, right? To rehabilitate their image.
Yeah.
But the moment that rehabilitation comes at the detriment of others, me, other members of my family, then that's where I draw the line.
Picture this. It's dawn at Buckingham Palace. The marble halls glimmer, but an eerie silence hangs in the air. Staff move like shadows, heads down, avoiding eye contact. Everyone knows something huge is about to happen, but no one dares speak it aloud until it drops. Effective immediately, the royal family will no longer engage with Meghan Markle in any capacity. Before we go any further, smash that subscribe button and hit notifications, because what I'm about to reveal will completely shatter everything you thought you knew about the royal family. No diplomacy, no sugarcoating, no royal courtesy, no wiggle room for misinterpretation. Prince William, the future king, a man known for decades of calm composure, just did the unthinkable. He had completely severed ties with his brother's wife. But here's the thing nobody's telling you. This wasn't a snap decision. It was coming, inevitable, like a storm building on the horizon. And the reason behind it is far darker than anyone ever imagined. Ask yourself this: have you ever had to cut someone out of your life completely? Someone you once trusted, maybe even loved? What could push you to make that call? One massive betrayal? Or 1,000 tiny cuts, little betrayals stacking up until the person you knew disappears completely? For Prince William, the answer is chilling. What we're about to uncover isn't just a family feud gone public, it's a calculated power move years in the making. Think about it. Through explosive divorces, media scandals, leaked recordings, and affairs that would have destroyed any normal institution, the royal family remained standing. Yet Nothing has fractured the monarchy quite like the Meghan era. From Hollywood glamour to high-profile podcasts, every single move Meghan made seemed to overshadow the crown itself. Every word she spoke reopened wounds the monarchy had worked for years to heal. So what finally pushed William over the edge? According to a palace insider present that morning, he tried to handle it quietly. He tried reasoning with Harry, but that last conversation, it didn't go well. That wasn't about titles or public appearances. It was about betrayal. And when you hear what was actually said during that final, secretly recorded phone call between the brothers, you'll understand why there was no turning back. The palace corridors were unusually quiet that morning. An aide on the scene said the tension felt like static, crackling in the air. Phones stopped ringing. Even the normally buzzing press office was eerily still. Then, from behind closed doors, Prince William's voice rang out, "Release it!" 2 simple words that changed everything within minutes. The statement went live within an hour, and the internet erupted. Within a single day, the monarchy fractured into 2 warring camps. But here's the real shocker. This announcement wasn't just about Meghan, it was about control. Think about it. Years of William watching the royal narrative slip from his hands, scandals drowned out by Meghan's drama, family gatherings turned into potential clickbait, every charity event a comparison game. The crown was losing its grip, and William knew it. Something happened in the days before that announcement, something that finally pushed him past his breaking point. Multiple palace sources point to a private report, a classified dossier compiled by royal security detailing repeated protocol breaches, confidential leaks to the press, and strategic manipulation of palace narratives. But there was something even more personal, a tense meeting between King Charles, Catherine, and William just days before. Some insiders claim the king urged restraint, but William reportedly said, "We can't let sentiment destroy the throne." Powerful words from the man who once held the family together after Diana's death, shielded Harry from scrutiny and stood beside him through heartbreak and controversy. So what changed? Or maybe the better question is, who changed? Most people miss the timing. This wasn't emotional, it was strategic. The statement dropped just before dawn London time, when American audiences were asleep and British media were still warming up. A 6-hour advantage to control the narrative before Meghan's team could respond. Calculated. Absolutely. This wasn't a statement, it was war. One palace insider described William's mood the night before as eerily calm. Not angry, not emotional, resolute. He had already mourned the relationship and moved on, which makes this even more chilling. Royal decisions rarely come from emotion, but when they do, they echo for decades. Here's the truth nobody's talking about. This decision came at a monumental cost. William may have won the battle for control, but he may have lost his brother forever. Think about Harry. For years, William was the steady one, the mediator, the big brother keeping the peace. Now that peace is shattered, friends close to Harry say he felt blindsided. Others claim he saw it coming but hoped William would soften it. He didn't. William's words were clinical, direct, final, leaving absolutely no room for reconciliation. Beneath the coldness lies one thing: a promise to protect the crown, even if it means breaking his brother's heart. So what really triggered this? Some reports hint at a private recording, an audio of a heated exchange between Meghan and a senior royal aide. Others point to leaked texts suggesting deliberate manipulation. Whatever it was, William had reached his limit, not out of hatred, but exhaustion, as one aide said. You can only defend your family so many times before you start defending the institution itself. Are you seeing the bigger picture? Because we're just scratching the surface, the secret file. Here's where it gets darker. A classified dossier, long forgotten in the depths of Buckingham Palace, forced back into the light by the storm. The royal family keeps meticulous records. Notes, emails, incident reports, casual observations. Nothing ever truly vanishes. But this file was different. Insiders called it the internal record, quietly detailing Meghan Markle's behaviour during her years in the royal system. Few knew of its existence. Fewer still dared speak its name, until William ordered it reopened. Late one night, in a dimly lit meeting room in Clarence House, William sat across from the palace's senior private secretary. "Bring me the file," he said. The aide hesitated. "Sir, it hasn't been accessed in years. Sealed under Queen Elizabeth's orders." William's response was icy. "Then unseal it. I have her blood and her responsibility." By dawn, it was on his desk. A thick red leather folder, confidential level 5. What lay inside would make William's decision painfully clear. At first glance, the breaches seemed minor, subtle manipulations noted by staff. Instances where Meghan bypassed official channels, pressuring staff to release unauthorized statements, but that was just the start. The real breaches were far worse. Direct contact with journalists, feeding info to reshape public perception, confidential details from private royal discussions appearing word for word in American magazines days later, and the timing of interviews and exclusives carefully engineered for maximum impact. Every report was signed, time-stamped, verified, but William wasn't just disturbed by the leaks themselves. It was the pattern, the method behind the madness. Every action, every statement, every interview, it all pointed to something bigger. This wasn't chaos. This was a calculated campaign of influence. Buried deep in the file was the most damning section: the psychological impact assessment. A confidential HR report detailed serious emotional distress among staff, patterns of intimidation, and an atmosphere thick with manipulation and volatility. Anonymous testimonies laid bare the toll. She made me question my memory of events. I was told I was too British to understand her. She cried for cameras, but behind closed doors, she screamed those lines, the effect devastating. William's face hardened, not in anger, but in sorrow. For years, he'd defended Meghan publicly, insisting she just needed time, patience, and support. But seeing the evidence laid bare revealed a chilling truth. What the world often called resistance or misunderstandings might have been deliberate manipulation cloaked in grievance. Catherine's private notes confirmed it, but the most shocking section lay at the back, a sealed envelope. Labelled Private Notes, HRH Catherine, it contained personal reflections, handwritten in elegant script, heartbreakingly honest. Catherine described feeling isolated, undermined, and even gaslit during her brief overlap with Meghan. One passage read, "She smiles so beautifully when the cameras are on, but in private it's as if she's studying us, collecting details to use later. Warmth, yes, but strategic. Calculating warmth." Another line struck William hard. "I fear Harry's loyalty is being tested daily. She tells him family doesn't matter when the world is watching, but I see how much he aches for his brother." That sentence hit him like a punch. William closed the folder and sat in silence, long minutes passing before whispering to his aide. No one outside these walls sees this. Not yet. But the existence of that file didn't stay secret for long. Within days, whispers reached select palace insiders. Then journalists sniffed the scent of a story. Headlines exploded. Secret royal file. The truth about Meghan. Palace dossier could rewrite history. Meghan's lawyers immediately issued warnings. Any release of private correspondence constitutes defamation and invasion of privacy. But here's the twist. William hadn't released a single word. His silence became his shield, and Meghan's biggest fear. She knew that if the file ever went public, her curated image could crumble overnight. Who leaked the file's existence? The palace blamed Meghan's camp. Meghan blamed the palace. But those close to William suspected someone far more dangerous, a disillusioned insider aiming to expose both sides. Imagine the pressure. William holding evidence that could destroy his sister-in-law while trying to protect the monarchy he was born to serve. But it was about to get worse. The phone call that ended everything. It was supposed to be short, a few minutes between brothers, a chance to reason before the inevitable. Instead, it became the conversation that tore the last thread holding the royal family together. Early evening in California, Harry picked up the phone, hands trembling. He'd already heard whispers that William was preparing something monumental, but he hadn't wanted to believe it. "Will, what's going on?" Harry's voice was tight, rushed. A pause hung heavy, long enough for Harry to feel the weight of what was coming. Then, William spoke quietly, firmly. "You already know." Harry exhaled sharply. "Don't do this, mate. Not like this. We can sort it out." "It's too late," William said. "I've made my decision." Harry shifted from pleading to defensive. "You can't just cut her off like that. She's my wife. You're punishing her for speaking her mind." William's tone was ice cold. "She didn't just speak her mind. She's been twisting it to suit her story." The words hung like a blade. Harry went silent, then snapped. "You think you're protecting the crown? You're just proving her right. Everything she said about how cold this family is, you're giving her ammunition." William remained calm, voice sharpening. "You call it cold. I call it control. I can't let the institution collapse because of one woman's quest for attention." Brutal. Final. Harry's voice cracked. "You sound just like them. The courtiers, the people who destroyed Mom." That hit hard. William's composure faltered for the first time. "Don't you dare compare this to her. Mum never leaked state documents. She never used her title to manipulate the world. She was hunted." Meghan volunteered silence, thick, unforgiving. Across the ocean, Harry felt something inside him break. "You think this is about Meghan?" William continued, tone low. "It's not. It's about you, about what you've allowed her to do. You've given her the keys to everything we swore to protect." Harry clenched his jaw. "You've changed, Will." "No," William replied softly. "You have." That sentence landed like a hammer. Conversations like this are devastating. Two brothers, once so close, now sound like strangers reading from rival scripts. "Do you even remember what it felt like?" Harry asked finally. "The one they whisper about, the one tabloids tear apart. You think you're safe now, but wait until they turn on you. They always do. I can handle that." "What I can't handle," William said, voice sharp, "is the monarchy dragged through the mud by its own members." "That's rich, Harry," he shot back. "You think the monarchy is pure? You think it's perfect? You're just too scared to admit it's broken." William's voice sharpened. "Then why are you still using the titles?" That hit Harry like ice water. He couldn't answer. "You say you want out, but you keep one foot in. You say you want privacy, but sell your story. You can't have it both ways." "I understand perfectly," Harry almost shouted. "You chose her over us, over the family, over everything Mum wanted for us," William said. Harry's breath caught. "Don't bring her into this," he managed. But William didn't stop. "She's the reason I'm doing this, Harry, because she wouldn't have wanted this circus." For the first time, Harry had no comeback. Neither brother spoke. The silence stretched so long that one aide, overhearing from the door, said it felt like Diana's ghost was hovering in the room. Then Harry whispered, quiet, broken. "So that's it. You're cutting her off. For good." "For good," William confirmed. "There's no path back from this. Not anymore." Harry's voice cracked. "Then you're cutting me off too." William didn't answer. That silence was the answer. Anger faded into grief as Harry's voice trembled. I thought after everything you'd still have my back." "I did," William said softly, "until you stopped having ours." The line went quiet again. Then William's words landed like a verdict. "Goodbye, Harry," and the call ended. He didn't slam the phone. He didn't shout. He simply hung up, placed it gently on the desk, and stared at the family crest embossed on a nearby envelope. Across the ocean, Harry froze, phone in hand, staring at his reflection in the glass door. Meghan entered seconds later, eyes sharp. She saw the look and knew immediately. He did it, didn't he? Harry nodded. "It's over." She stepped closer, touched his arm gently. "Then we tell our side." And just like that, the counteroffensive began. Within 24 hours, details of the call leaked to the press. The phrasing was deliberate. Prince William's icy tone left Harry devastated. The narrative painted William as cold, heartless, prioritizing image over blood, but the palace remained silent. William knew strategic silence could speak louder than words. Now ask yourself, who do you believe? The future king protecting an institution, or the exiled prince defending the woman he loves? Because what happens next will twist everything you thought you knew about this royal war. Meghan's counterattack. It took less than 24 hours. In Montecito, California, sunlight spilled across marble floors. Meghan stared at her phone, not in shock, but with icy disbelief. Harry paced, hands jammed in pockets, face pale and exhausted. He had begged William to reconsider, but the permanent decree had gone public, digital and unstoppable. At first, Meghan sat still, but her silence wasn't calm. It simmered, ready to erupt. She read the statement over and over. No longer engage in any capacity, preserving the dignity of the crown, consistent disregard for institutional boundaries. Every word stung, dismissing everything she had fought for. Within hours, her team gathered, publicists, PR strategists, 2 top consultants flown in from Los Angeles. The plan wasn't an immediate response. It was a narrative strike. Silence implies guilt, not when it can be weaponized. Meghan's team decided, let the press attack first, then respond with elegance, truth, and dignity. But by now, her definition of truth had sharpened into a tool of precision. By the next morning, a friend close to Meghan spoke to a major US outlet. Meghan is heartbroken by William's decision, especially after all she endured. She hoped time would heal the rift, but forgiveness isn't part of the royal vocabulary. The headline went viral. Soft words, sharp edges, a message wrapped in sympathy, aimed like a bullet. 3 days later, a deliberate leak appeared in Hollywood Insider, hinting Meghan was being approached for a documentary-style project chronicling her royal life and resilience. Not coincidence. A warning shot to the palace in the chess game of public perception. Meghan claimed the larger audience, but beneath the bravado lay fear. William's announcement had done damage. Powerful contacts hesitated, invitations vanished quietly, brand deals stalled overnight. From modern royal rebel, she was suddenly the official royal exile. UK polls reflected it. Public sympathy for Meghan hit an all-time low. The podcast strike followed. 2 weeks later, Meghan released a new podcast episode, the first since the scandal. Warm lighting, calm tone, but steel underneath. "When you speak your truth," she said, "sometimes those closest to you will silence you first." Names weren't mentioned, none needed. She ended, "Some people value the image of a crown more than the hearts beneath it." The internet erupted. Supporters called her brave. Critics called her manipulative. One thing was undeniable. She had reclaimed the spotlight. Inside Kensington Palace, William listened to the audio in silence. His aides waited. He didn't react. He reportedly turned off the phone, muttering, "We don't respond to noise." Catherine noticed the tension in his jaw, the rigid set of his body. He hadn't just been attacked, he had been challenged, and Meghan had struck where it hurt most, his dignity. Then came the twist, the leaked letter. Nobody expected it. Days later, a scanned image of private correspondence between Meghan and a senior palace staffer surfaced online. It laid out grievances, mistreatment, emotional distress, and ended with a chilling line. "If my voice must be silenced, then history will speak for me." The leak hit like wildfire. Meghan claimed no involvement. Her team called it a gross privacy violation. Insiders suggested otherwise, her move to reclaim control. The effect was undeniable. The world divided. The recorded call, but the most explosive development was still ahead. 2 weeks later, snippets of the supposed phone transcript between William and Harry appeared in select US outlets. Word-for-word quotes. One line shook the world. "You force my hand, Harry. I have to protect the crown, even if it means losing my brother." The palace refused to comment, but insiders whispered a darker truth. Someone had been recording. Someone wanted destruction documented. From that moment, everything changed. William stopped taking Harry's calls. Communication went through lawyers. Security protocols tightened overnight. The monarchy had gone into lockdown. But the real question remained. Who had the original recording? Whoever it was wasn't done, and their next move would throw the royal household into chaos. Are you seeing the chessboard now? We're heading into the final act, more shocking than you can imagine. The master strategist, Catherine, Princess of Wales. While the world saw a serene figure smiling at charity events, a devoted mother, a loyal wife, inside palace walls, she was something else entirely. William's anchor, his sounding board, his quiet weapon. Catherine didn't fight with words. She fought with timing. And it all began months before the official announcement. At that point, the situation with Meghan had already become unbearable. Every royal event became a comparison game. Meghan versus Catherine, American spontaneity versus British restraint. But Catherine wasn't competing. She was observing, silently calculating. From the very beginning, she sensed something wasn't right. Meghan's charm was magnetic, yes, but her actions didn't match her words. Then came the moment that shifted everything. It was a spring luncheon before an official event. Catherine and Meghan were seated together, surrounded by aides. At first, the conversation was light. Flowers, charities, upcoming plans. But then Meghan leaned in, whispering words that froze Catherine mid-sentence. "You'll see, they love me now, but one day they'll fear me." Catherine didn't react outwardly. She simply smiled, that composed, royal smile she'd perfected for years. But inside, a cold understanding settled. Meghan wasn't here to join the family. She was here to master it. That night, Catherine told William exactly what had been said. He dismissed it at first, probably thinking she meant it jokingly, but Catherine shook her head. "You didn't see her face," she warned. From that moment forward, Catherine began quietly documenting patterns, not as a spy, but as a safeguard. Notes on Meghan's contradictions, her demands, her shifting narratives. She never accused, never exaggerated. She simply recorded. When Palace HR later asked for internal feedback regarding Meghan's integration into royal duties, Catherine's input became the cornerstone of that secret file. But she didn't stop there. Behind the scenes, Catherine maintained fragile relationships within the palace, reassuring staff, soothing tempers, keeping people from walking out during the height of tension. She was the calm inside the storm. One courtier said, "While everyone was panicking about leaks, Catherine was quietly rebuilding trust where it had been shattered." What most people don't realise is that when William finally decided to issue the public statement, it was Catherine who gave the final nudge, not with pressure, but with clarity. "You've been carrying this for too long," she told him one evening. "You are trying to protect everyone, but who's protecting you?" Those words struck deep. Then she added something that changed everything. "Every time you defend her, you give her power. Every time you stay silent, she controls the story. End it, William. For us, for the crown." He didn't answer right away. Hours later, he summoned his advisors and ordered the draft of the statement. That's the thing about Catherine. She didn't shout, she didn't demand. She simply planted the truth and let it grow. After the statement went public, Catherine's role deepened. While William handled the politics, Catherine handled the people. She became the emotional core of the royal response, ensuring staff morale stayed intact and that the public saw not bitterness, but quiet resilience. At official engagements, she smiled wider, embraced more openly, laughed with children, hugged volunteers, radiated a calm that stood in stark contrast to Meghan's defiant media blitz. Every public appearance was a message, not of words, but of tone. The monarchy was not angry. It was steady, and it worked. Polls began to shift. Public sympathy that had wavered during Meghan's interviews began returning to William and Catherine. The people saw dignity in their restraint, a lesson Catherine had learned from the late Queen herself. But behind closed doors, Catherine carried more than anyone realised. Late at night, after the children were asleep, she and William would sit in their private study analysing press coverage, strategising the next move. She read every headline. She knew exactly which narratives were gaining traction and which were slipping. She had become, in essence, the monarchy's silent strategist, But her composure came at a cost. One aide described her as beautifully broken during those months, elegant in public, exhausted in private. There were nights she didn't sleep at all. She'd stare at the fireplace, whispering she didn't recognize the world anymore. That kindness had become weakness, and yet she never wavered. Even when Meghan's team launched new attacks, leaks, accusations, emotional podcasts, Catherine stayed centered. Every insult only made her resolve stronger because Catherine understood something Meghan never did. Power doesn't come from noise. It comes from silence. Silence builds mystery. Mystery builds respect. And respect, not popularity, sustains monarchies. The question nobody's asking, so here we are, after everything we've uncovered, the secret file, the devastating phone call, Meghan's counterattack, Catherine's master plan, we're left with one haunting question. Was Prince William right to draw this line in the sand? Let's recap. What we know for certain, the evidence piling up around Meghan paints a picture of repeated protocol breaches documented in a classified dossier that spans years. Staff testimonies reveal a pattern of manipulation and intimidation. Strategic leaks turned private conversations into word-for-word headlines, leaving senior royals uneasy. The human toll is stark. Two brothers who once shared everything now find themselves on opposite sides of an ocean and an ideological divide. A family fractured by loyalty tests. Staff members left traumatized after prolonged tension. The monarchy itself caught in a painful balancing act, weighing sentiment against survival. Public opinion splintered. One half sees William as a steadfast leader protecting an institution under siege. The other perceives him as cold, heartless, echoing warnings Meghan voiced. Both camps claim the moral high ground, each convinced they're defending what's right. But here's what still haunts royal watchers worldwide. Who leaked the secret file? Was it someone in the palace forcing William's hand, or Meghan's team exposing royal hypocrisy? Who recorded that devastating phone call between William and Harry, wanting destruction documented? And what about the rest of the file that William hasn't revealed? Sources suggest what we know is just the tip of the iceberg. Will Harry and William ever reconcile, or has that bridge burned beyond repair? And most importantly, was this entire crisis avoidable? What this means for the future, we're witnessing not just a family feud, it's a fundamental transformation of the British monarchy. William has made it clear, a new era is dawning, one where leaks and manipulation get no quarter. Personal feelings take a back seat to the crown's integrity. The monarchy won't be turned into a tool for private agendas. But at what cost? He's lost his brother, created a permanent enemy in Meghan, divided public opinion, perhaps irreparably. Yet, from his perspective, he had no choice. If he'd done nothing, the institution he was born to lead might not have survived long enough for him to inherit it. Here's what most people miss. Nobody's entirely right, nobody's entirely wrong. Meghan entered that family believing she could modernize it, give it authenticity and empathy. But she underestimated how deeply tradition runs in an institution that survived 1,000 years. William believed he could protect both his family and the crown, but he underestimated how much his brother had changed, how far Harry would go to defend the woman he loves. Harry believed he could have it both ways, one foot in royal life, living on his own terms, but he underestimated how much his actions would be seen as betrayal. And Catherine, she did what royal women have always done, held everything together while pretending the cracks didn't exist. So now I want to hear from you. Do you think Prince William made the right decision? Should he have cut Meghan off completely? Or did he prove everything she said about the cold, heartless royal family? Was Meghan justified in fighting back? Or was she manipulating public sympathy while undermining the institution that gave her a global platform? Can Harry and William ever reconcile? Or is this divide permanent? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear from you. And if you found this video insightful, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. More royal updates are coming, and you don't want to miss a single detail.